Coming to the part 2 of the video, where in part 1 we have covered 1 to 15 questions, the most expected questions for the upcoming physics MCQ. So now we are doing part 2. So in this question, now question number 16, an image is formed by a plane mirror. The second image is formed by a lens by using a magnifying glass, which states the nature of each of the images. So we know that, for example, when I take a plane mirror, I take a plane mirror over here, and if at all we place an object over here in front of a plane mirror, we get the what is this image on the mirror. So but what it says, this image we cannot touch it, or we cannot what it is capture it on a screen. So therefore this image is always going to be a virtual image. So for a plane mirror, it's always going to be a virtual image. So the first one, option is A, is wrong. Option B is also wrong. So answer has to be either option C or D. Now coming to the magnifying glass. So what is this magnifying glass? Now I take a magnifying glass. For that, it should be a, what is this? A convex lens. So I take a convex lens over there, and I'm drawing a convex lens. This is a convex lens, and we want to make it as a magnifying glass. When is it possible to make it as a magnifying glass? If at all an object is placed in between the, what is this, focus and the optical center, then we'll be getting it out image on the same side, a magnified. This one also cannot be captured on a screen, so therefore this is also a virtual one. So therefore for magnifying glass and plane mirror, both is going to be an virtual image. So which is that option? Option D. That's going to be the answer. Coming to the next question, question number 17, three boxes, each of weigh 100 newtons, is lifted by a shelf that is 1.5 meters above the ground. The man takes 2 seconds to do this. What is the usual power? So power equals to nothing but what? Work upon time. Work is nothing but what? mgh upon time. So m is 3 boxes and mg is 100, and height is going to be 1.5 divided by 2. Just do this calculation, so you should be able to get 225 watts. That's going to be the answer. Coming to question number 18, a seed bottle of constant volume. The volume is going to be constant. It contains air. The air in the bottle is heated. So we are heating it out. What is the effect of average speed of the molecules and average distance? So heated. Heated means nothing but what? Temperature. We know that temperature definition is itself is nothing but what? Average kinetic energy of the molecules. So temperature, from there we get average kinetic energy. Average kinetic energy means nothing but what? Speed. So as you increase the temperature, the speed of the average speed also will keep on increasing. So therefore, the first option A is wrong. The second option B is also wrong. So answer has to be either C or D. Now, another key point what has been told over here, the volume is constant. If the volume is constant means obviously what it says, the distance is not being increased. It is going to remain the same. So option D is going to be the correct answer. Option C is also wrong answer because the distance is not increasing. That's going to be the answer. Coming to the next question, question number 19. What is being asked? The table gives 4 sources of energy, states whether the energy of source is derived from the sun or not. So first of all, we know that oil is the source of sun. How is oil the source of sun? Because billions of years ago, the plants would have been taking the energy from the sun, and they have been the animals, they have been died, they have been buried, they've become fossils, and obviously they become the oils. So basically oil is a source of sun, but it has been telling that oil is not a source of sun, so therefore option B is wrong. Next, wind is a source of sun, because the thing is, because of the temperature differences, the wind from high pressure to low pressure, it will be keep on moving, so therefore wind is also a source of sun, but they say that it is no, so that is also wrong. Geothermal is not a source of sun. Why geothermal is not a source of sun? Geothermal is the energy which is because of the nuclear reactions taking place. So it is not a source of sun, but they say that it is a source of sun. So geothermal energy, this part is also wrong. So the only option is left over is nothing but what? Option C. They say that water held in a dam is a source of sun. Yes, that's going to be the correct answer. Now coming to question number 20, which list contains only energy sources that derive energy from the sun? Geothermal energy do not derive energy from the sun. It is nothing but what? A nuclear energy. So therefore, option A is wrong. So option C also has geothermal, it is wrong. Option D also has nuclear, that is also wrong. So only I'm left over with nothing but what? Option B. Let us check hydroelectric. Yes, it is deriving the energy from the sun. And water waves, it also derives energy from the sun, and wind also derives energy from the sun. So only option B is correct. That's going to be the answer. Coming to the next question, question number 21. A student holds a rod in his hand. He rubs the electron with the rod with a cloth. The rod gains positive charge. Of which material could the rod be made, and which transfer of charges been happen? So whenever the transfer of charges been happen, it is always because of electrons. So only electrons will be moving, not positive charge will be moving, because electrons are in the outermost shell. So they only will be moving around. So not the positive charge. So we can see that which are all positive charge. Metal and a positive charge is wrong, and plastic and a positive charge is going to be wrong. So transfer of charge is only of because of the electrons, not because of the protons or neutrons. Next, now we know that if at all this would have been a metal, because metal is already having the electrons, so it doesn't require any another electrons, and it is being a good conductor. So therefore, it will not get charged. Only this rod has to be a plastic one. It should be a non-metal. So therefore, option A is also wrong because it cannot be a metal. So only option C is left over. So answer for that one is going to be option C. Now coming to question number 22, a pendulum bob swings with a path W, X, Y, Z and back again. The resistive forces are ignored. Which statement describes the total energy of the bob? So whether it is W, X, Y or Z or all the three. So for example, I draw a what it says a reference line. I'm drawing a reference line over here. So we can see that at X, it is touching exactly at X. At X, what I will be having? It will be having only the kinetic energy. There is no potential energy because they exactly touching the reference line. At Y, it will be having a bit of what it says kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic plus potential. Whereas at Z, it will be having only potential energy whereas because it has to stop. So kinetic energy is going to be the same. And finally at W also it's going to be having only potential energy, and kinetic energy is going to be zero because it has to stop and come back. So we can see that at all the points the total energy is going to be the same. Total energy is going to be the potential energy plus kinetic energy, which is going to be constant throughout. So we can say that it has the same value at W, X, Y, and Z. The total energy is going to be the same value, but sometimes it may be only potential, sometimes it may be only kinetic, sometimes it may be a combination of potential and kinetic, but the total value is going to be the same. That's going to be the answer. So coming to question number 23, a parachute is falling at terminal velocity. What is the meaning of terminal velocity? The upward force equals to the downward force. The upward force is equal to the downward force. Then only what is this? It is moving with a terminal velocity. Means the upward force is nothing but what? The air resistance is being balanced by the downward force. Downward force is nothing but what? Weight. If at all it is balanced, then the parachutist is already in the terminal velocity. She now opens her parachute. What is the direction of her motion? So whenever open the parachute, obviously the parachute is coming, the lady is coming down. So obviously the motion will be continuous towards downwards only. It will never move upwards. This is just like an example. If we are traveling in a car and we apply brake, then the car doesn't move backwards, so it will continue to move forward only. And what is this? It may be moving it out at a slower rate, so that's called as deceleration. So direction doesn't changes immediately. So when we are opening the parachute, it also means the same, that we are applying a brake. So the motion of the parachute will be continuing towards the downwards itself only. So therefore upwards is going to be wrong. Option C and option D is wrong. So it has to be either option A or option B. Now coming to the direction of the acceleration. So when we know that when we are applying the brake, the acceleration will be acting in the opposite direction, so that it will be slowing down. So if the parachute is moving downwards, so obviously the acceleration should be in the opposite direction, which is upwards. So therefore what it says, option A is wrong. So I'm only left over with nothing but option B. The parachutist will be moving downwards, and whereas the direction of the motion of parachutist is downwards, and direction of the acceleration of the parachutist will be in the opposite direction, which is upwards. That's going to be the answer. Coming to question number 24, two plastic cups are placed on one side, in one inside the other. A small space keeps the two cups separated. Hot water is poured into the inner cup, and the lid is put, what it says, onto the top of the cup. So what is it saying? Which statement is correct? The bench is heated by convection from the bottom of the outer cup. So bench is heated by the convection. So bench is not in being what is this, in touch with the hot water. So therefore convection cannot take place. There is no contact at all. So therefore convection cannot take place. So our first option is going to be wrong option. Now there is the lid reduces the energy lost by convection. Yes, that's going to be correct option, because the thing is the lid will be preventing the what is this, the escape of the vapors. So therefore what is this, lid reduces the energy lost by convection. That is going to be correct. Now what about C and D, whether they are correct or not? We should cross check that one. There is no thermal conduction through the sides of the either cup. That is also wrong, because thermal conduction can still take place, because what is the thing is there is still an air over there. The air is a what is this, can through this air what is this, the thermal conduction can take place. If at all it would have been a vacuum, then what is the cases, there wouldn't have been any thermal conduction, but there is an air over there, so obviously the thermal conduction does takes place. Then finally, thermal radiation is prevented by small air gap. No, thermal radiation is not prevented by the small air gap. So only the thing which prevents the thermal radiation is nothing but what is the silver lining, but it is not present there. So therefore, thermal radiation is also undergoing it out. So only option B is left over. That's going to be the correct answer. So now coming to the next question, question number 25. The diagram shows a simple mercury barometer. The atmospheric pressure increases. So whenever there is an atmospheric pressure increases, this water level goes up. If that water level goes up, the water from there, from where it does comes, because of the this decrease in the water. So it will be the new water level will be over here. So new x will be over here. We can write it out. This is a new position of x. New position of x. The water level will come down there, and it will be rising up in this. What is this barometer? So now what is he asking? Which distance increases? So this will be the new w. Let us write new w. Now which distance increases? So first of all, we'll check, go by option after option. VW. So we can see that VW has decreased. Previously the VW was bigger, now it has been decreased. So VW is going to be the wrong answer. XY. Previously XY was very much, and now the XY has been decreased. So XY is also wrong option. So next, XZ. XZ previously was more, now but the XZ is less. So XZ is also wrong answer. So WY. WY has been increased or not? We can see that clearly. Previously WY was from here to here, but now the WY has been increased. So therefore, which is option? Only option B is going to be the answer. Now coming to the next question, a student suggests the three methods of demagnetizing a piece of steel. Placing it in east-west direction and hammering it hard, placing it east-west direction and heating it until it's red hot, removing it slowly from the coil, and coil carrying alternating current. So first of all, we should understand the structure of a magnet. What is the structure of a magnet? When I try to draw the structure of a magnet, what it says, inside the magnet, we can see that all the what is this elements or the molecules, we can say that they are arranged in towards one direction. They are all arranged towards the one direction, in one particular direction. So that causes the magnetism. So when I'm hammering it, so what is happening is this arrangement is being disturbed. So therefore, obviously, hammering makes it to lose the magnetism. So when I'm heating it also, this arrangement is going to be disturbed. So heating also will make it to get demagnetized. When I'm slowly moving it from a coil carrying alternating current, because the alternating current, what will happen? It may make the what is this, the particles to go one side, one time in a positive direction and in another time in the negative direction. So it keeps on changing the direction. So they are not aligned in one particular direction. So therefore, option 3 is also correct. So we can see that all the options are correct. So therefore, the answer has to be option D. That's going to be the answer. Now coming to question number 27. Metal has a specific heat capacity, means small c, is 360 joules per kg degree Celsius. An object is made of this metal and has a mass of, what is this, 2 kgs. What is the thermal capacity, capital C? So we know that C equals to mc. So m is nothing but what, 2 kgs, and specific heat capacity is 360 joules per kg Celsius. Why am I doing it out like that? Because when I multiply it out 720, you can see that kg and kg gets cancels. My units will be joules per degree Celsius. So my capital C is going to be joules per degree Celsius. So we can see that it is going to be option C. That's going to be the answer. So question number 28, the nuclear notation for an isotope of silver is 109 He47. How many nucleons are there? This is a simple question. Nucleons is going to be 109. So answer is going to be 109. Nucleons is nothing but what? Number of neutrons and protons, which is going to be 109. So that's going to be the answer for question number 28. Question number 29. An atomic nucleus decays by one or more radioactive decay process. What causes the proton number decrease by one? It is decreased by one, not increased by one. If at all it is increased by one, it's going to be a beta particle. A beta particle will be increasing by one. Whenever there is a beta decay, the proton number increases by one. And whenever there is an alpha decay, the proton number decreases by two. So what is the thing is, for example, we take an element X. Now, if at all it undergoes alpha decay, so it becomes Y. So it proton number becomes X minus 2 because of the alpha decay. Now this Y, X minus 2, if at all it undergoes beta decay, then it may become X minus 2 plus 1 because of the beta decay. So we can see that the Z, the new one, is becoming X minus 1. So therefore, first it has to become the alpha decay. So what is that? It has to be a alpha decay. Because of that, minus 2. Then what is this? A beta decay. Beta decay is nothing but what? Plus 1. So totally it will be giving minus 1. So decrease by minus 1 is going to be alpha decay followed by beta decay. So alpha decay only is wrong because it is minus 2. Beta decay is nothing but what? Plus 1. Gamma decay does not have any effect at all. So therefore C, option C, is wrong. Then what is this? Beta decay only? It is going to be plus 1. No. So only the option that is left over is nothing but what? Option A. That's going to be the answer. Now coming to question number 30, a skydiver reaches a terminal velocity. Just now we have done it out in the previous question also. Terminal velocity, then he opens a parachute. So obviously the parachute will continue to go downwards and the acceleration will be going upwards. So what happens to the skydiver as the parachute opens? The acceleration is going to go upwards. So we have just done it out in the previous question. So direction of motion will continue to move towards downwards, whereas the acceleration will be towards the upwards, so that it will be slowing down. So that's going to be the answer, option B.